Hi everybody, welcome back to the Dave's World YouTube channel, your home for automotive mechanical entertainment. If you've been following along, you know I'm building a wide-body Corvette, and I'm at the point now where I want to take the car on a road test. The reason I want to take the car on a road test is because now that the quarter panels are on the car, I noticed that the wheel arches are in the wrong position, and what I want to do is get the suspension to settle so I can see what the ride height's going to be. I need to know if I have to lower the car. I need to know after everything settles if the tire's width is going to work. I need to know before I make the quarter panels permanent that nothing else is going to be affected. For example, if I have to lower the car, I'm concerned that I might not be able to get enough suspension travel. The car ride height wise might look good, but the suspension might not function correctly. So taking the car for a road test is very important. Whenever you change body panels on a car, you can run into a whole bunch of other problems that you didn't foresee before you started taking your car apart. And of course, with my car, if you watch the other videos, you'll see that I actually had to hammer through fiberglass and Bondo to actually get the old panels off and put these new ones on. And I'm concerned that that may have been a big mistake, and it probably would have been better just to keep what I had on the car and maybe hand make something. I don't know yet, but first things first, I want to get the car out of the garage. I have to move some cars out of the way. I want to take this thing for a spin, and let's see what's going on with this body kit. The car's a little noisier and the tires are very sticky, so because I don't have the liners in on the fenders, all the rocks are being shot up underneath. So if you hear that during the video, my apologies. So what I'm checking for is when I hit a bump, I want to make sure I don't get any rubbing. When I make a turn, I want to make sure I don't get any rubbing, and then I really want the car to settle. So when I get back, we'll be able to see exactly where the car's ride height is going to be now. So I'm trying to hit some bumpier roads because I want the car's weight to push down on the shocks and the springs. I mean, this car only weighs like 3,100 pounds, so, and the suspension's really stiff. That's why you have to drive the car. You physically can't jump on the suspension to get it to lower in your garage. I will definitely tell you that it's harder to see out of my mirrors now because these things are up higher and they're wider, so I actually can't see anything out of my side view mirrors. I guess that's cool, but it's gonna take some getting used to. Alright, I'm on my way back. I can't wait to see how the suspension looks. Hopefully it settles to a nice height and I don't have to lower the car. I'm really upset that I have to lower the car. These fenders, though they look cool, they're going to cause other complications with the car. Like the wheels now, which are very wide, aren't wide enough. And the suspension, which is already low, isn't low enough. And the company's not really getting back to me on this problem, and they're trying to pretend it's a defect. And then the company just went MIA. They're not even responding. They have a phone number nobody picks up. I guess that's just what you have to deal with when it's aftermarket parts. So on the front of the car, you can see the front of the car is already pretty low, which luckily I could bring the ride height up a little bit, but in the back, now the ride height's high. Originally the ride height was about that tall, and now, I mean, we're talking 5 or 6 inches in height. I have to lower this car substantially now just to get it to normal ride height. I'm not even sure there's enough adjustment on the suspension to get it there. I'm not happy with that, but at the same time, I also really do like the fenders. They look really cool. I mean, they're a lot nicer than what I had, that's for sure. I'm gonna go grab a tape measure real quick and see what the actual height is now. Okay, so in the front of the car, Some of this lowered look is actually this flare that I bolted on, but I mean, I could probably go up 2 inches. And then in the back, I think we're gonna be at about 5 inches or so. We are, which means I need to drop this now to maybe 3 inches. I'm not sure if there's even enough adjustment on the suspension. That's the problem. I'm gonna look under the car real quick just to see if I can figure out if there is any adjustment. I'm gonna turn the camera off for a minute, guys. Okay, so fortunately there is 2 inches worth of drop that I can get out of the rear, which still makes the rear suspension have a 3-inch gap between the fender and the tire. In the front, I can raise the car about 1 inch. I'm still gonna have sort of a raked look on the car, but the problem is the suspension's gonna have a sagging effect. So even though the car looks raked, the back of the car is gonna be lower based on the suspension and frame. I don't think I wanna do that on this car. I might look into possibly air ride so I can control the height on the go. Or what I might do is actually modify the flares so I can have them set at ride height so I don't have to deal with touching the suspension. The suspension on the car is spot on, the car handles amazing, and I really don't want to mess around with how it rides and drives just for looks. I'm still waiting to hear back from the company, but I think it might make more sense for me to cut the flares off and maybe fiberglass them in a new position, and it'll give the flare more of a bubble look, which at this point it doesn't matter, it's just extra body work to me. I almost regret putting these things on the car, but I guess, I mean, if you have a stock one and you're going to do some custom wheels and you want to slam the car to the ground, these things might be perfect for you. But even with the suspension completely bottomed out, these things are still going to have a 3-inch gap, and that's what I don't like about them. I really think it's a manufacturer's flaw, and I hope they get back to me, but I have a feeling I'm going to have a fight on my hands, so I'll just have to deal with this, unfortunately. But stay tuned for the next episode. I'll figure out what I'm going to be doing with this thing. So again, you know, I appreciate you guys staying tuned. I appreciate you coming back and checking out my videos. Next time you see the car, it's actually going to be in this spot so I can work on it at the same time as something else. I have a 65 Mustang coming into the shop. A friend of mine wants me to put a 4.6 liter out of early 2000s Mustang into it, so it's a really cool resto mod. And while I'm working on that, I didn't want to hold up my car, so I'm putting the car over here out of the way so it could sit here and get worked on. So thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you supporting Dave's World, and hopefully you come back for some future content. Have a nice day.